I'm Jo and welcome back for another quick tutorial this time. We're going to make a pair of earrings, and the earrings we're going to make today are these beautiful little crosses. I have done a little cross for you before. I'm just picking it up to show you. It looked a little like this. So no embellishment, just a simple plain cross element. But these ones are a bit more embellished and a bit more fun to wear for the summer. So if I hold them up, you can get an idea of size. They're not massive, but they still pack a little punch, and they are made using DiscDuos. And I've used little pearls in the center, but if you don't have the pearls, you could use a gemstone or a crystal or a fire polish bead. That would work just as well. You can make them into earrings. You can use it as a pendant. It's quite a sweet size for a pendant. Once you know how to make the motif, you could use them that way round and attach them all together, if I hold this one up like that as well, to form a bracelet, which would be really pretty. You could have a whole matching set. I've chosen to use them in this direction so that they hang as a little cross. And at the beginning of the tutorial, as usual, I'll be showing you all the materials you need to make these.
Look at all the ingredients we need to make these cute little earrings here. We're going to start off with the beads. We've got 3mm pearls here in navy blue. Now, if you don't have pearls, you could use a 3mm gemstone, a 3mm fire polish, 3mm crystal. It doesn't need to be pearls. Then we've got the DiscDuos here, and these are in white baby blue lustre, and the DiscDuos have got 2 holes, and it doesn't matter which way you have them up, which way you pick them up. They're the same whether I have them that way or flip them over to face the other way, exactly the same on both sides. Then in the seed beads, we've got 2 colors of 8s here. These are all Miyuki, and I have got matte transparent grey AB, and then I've got Duracoat galvanized silver in the 8 and Duracoat galvanized silver in an 11. You'll need some shepherd hooks. You will need some Fireline or some Wildfire in your whatever your chosen beading thread is. I'm going to use 6 pound in weight. I've got a size 10 beading needle, and I have got a thread zapper to end off my threads. To make these little crosses, we're going to start off in the center, and it'll be enlarged round by round. We'll be adding more and more as we step up to the outside. So I've threaded on about 3/4 meter of thread onto my needle. That's going to be plenty. And we're going to start by picking up your 3mm beads, so whether they're the pearls or the fire polish or crystals or gemstones, whatever you've decided to use, we're going to start by picking up the 4 of them, and I'm going to move them down towards the end of my thread. I need to leave a little tail ready for tying off at the end, and I'm going to pass the needle back through all 4 of those beads from the first one to the last one. So just making sure that my needle goes through all 4. I'm going to pull this through. And as you pull your thread through, you see they want to form a little ring or a circle. So at this stage here, we're going to tie our tail thread off to our working thread. And I'm going to start just with an ordinary knot and pull my threads tight, and I'm going to follow that up with a surgeon's knot. So move the thread through the loop once, through the loop twice, and pull tight. Right, the next step is that knot there is quite vulnerable sitting between those 2 beads. So I am going to pass the needle through the very next little pearl, and I'm going to pull that knot into that pearl so that when I come to snip my tail thread off, I have no chance of snipping through the knot and my work unraveling. So that is round 1, your first little round. We're now going to start round 2, and we're moving on to our main colour of our size 8s, in this case the silver. And I'm going to be adding 2 of these size 8s between each of the pearls. So I'm going to pick up 2 and I'm going to pass the needle through the next pearl. And I'm going to do this the whole way around. What you want to do is to try and get those little size 8s sitting directly above the 2 pearls below, a bit like a herringbone effect, if you know what herringbone stitch is. So you're going to pick up another 2 of your size 8s and pass through the next pearl, or the next 3mm bead. I just want to get that tail out of the way there. So I've got to do that twice more. Pick up 2 through the bigger bead. Just help them to sit neatly on top of those previous 2. And my last 2 now, picking up 2, going through that last pearl, I'm going to snip that tail off in a minute because it's just going to get in the way. And that's the end of round 2. That's not sitting very well, but it will when we do round 3. But in order to do round 3, I need to step up to the outside. So I've just come through that last pearl and I'm going to step up through that first size 8 as well. Round 3 is repeating round 2 really. So we're picking up 2 size 8s and we're coming down through the size 8 on the right and through the pearl below it. This is going to stabilize the work that we're doing above the pearls. You can see how much neater those 2 sit there. I need to pass the needle up through the first 8 of the next pair before I add any more beads. And I'm going to pick up another 2, and as before, pass the needle down through the 8, the second 8, and through the pearl below it. You can see how much neater those sections of 8s are sitting above the pearls. Twice more, so come up through the first 8 of the next pair before you add any more beads. Pick up 2 more of your 8s, down through the second 8 and the pearl. And the last time up through the first 8 of the last pair, pick up 2 more 8s and down through the second 8 of that last pair and through the pearl below it. Right, so if I pop that down now, you can see how much neater, by going through the pearls, we've kind of reinforced where we want those 8s to sit. So we've done 1, 2, 3 rounds, and we're about to start round 4. So we need to step up to the outside, and at the moment my thread is exiting the last pearl I came through, and I'm just going to pass my needle up through both of those 8s on one arm. And at this stage I'm going to get rid of that little tail because it's being a pesky nuisance and it's just in the way. Gone. Zapped away. Right, so we've done the central part of our cross. We're now going to lengthen each arm, and we're going to do that by picking up one of our DiscDuos, and we're going to let that fall all the way down to the cross. We then need to pop a little bead cap on top of our DiscDuo, and we're going to make up that bead cap by picking up 111, 18, and 111. And we're then going to pass down through the empty hole, so it's on the right in this case, of the DiscDuo, and down through both those 8s below. You can see how that 11, the 8 and the 11 have formed a little cap on top of the DiscDuo. Now I want to bead around so that I can do exactly the same on each arm. So I need to come through the beads that are in the center here. Now you might want to skip this part and not say, Joe, why are we going through the pearls each time? It just stabilizes each arm. As soon as you come through one of those bigger beads in the middle, this arm is now stable and secure and it's not going to flop around. We're going to come up before we add any beads through the next first pair or the first two of that next arm on that column. So if I pop that down there, it'd probably be easier for you to see. So my thread is exiting these top 2 eighths here. I'm going to pick up one of my DiscDuos. I'm going to let it slide down to that arm, and then I need the little bead cap. 11, 8, 11. And then I'm going to pass down through the empty hole of the DiscDuo the 2 eighths, and if I'm lucky I might get to go through the pearl all in one go. So there I've got 2 arms of my little cross. So I'm going to repeat that for this 3rd arm and this 4th arm, and then I'll be back to you. So I've just added in my 4th arm on this side, and you can see that we've done the basic shape of the cross, and all that's left to do is to embellish around the outsides of my beads. So my thread is exiting a pearl in the middle because I've just added this last DiscDuo, and in order to continue I'm going to pass the needle up through just the 2 eighths. So if I can just get my needle in there, out through those eighths. So I'm exiting just below the first DiscDuo, and I'm ready to add my first lot of beads that are going to hug the left hand side of that DiscDuo, and it's 5 beads that we're picking up each time, and we're going to alternate between the 11s and the 8s. So 1 11 1 8, 1 11 1 8, that's 4 beads, and 1 11, that's 5 beads. And I'm going to pass the needle through these 3 little beads that we added to make the little bead cap above the DiscDuo. Make sure you pass through all 3. We've got our embellishment around the left, and we now need to do exactly the same on the right. So 5 beads alternating between the 11s and the 8s. So 11 8 11 8 11, and I'm going to pass the needle down through that first 8 sitting below the DiscDuo. So you've got your first little arm of your cross embellished. We now need to form a bead bridge across to the second arm, and we do that by picking up 111 and one of our accent colors, in this case the matte transparent grey AB, and one more 11, and I'm going to skip across to the second arm and pass the needle through the 8 sitting just below the DiscDuo. You can see now how that forms a neat connection between the 2 arms, and there's no thread showing. So now we're ready to do exactly the same on the second arm. So we need our 5 beads alternating between the 11s and the 8s. That's 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to come up through the 3 beads that form the little bead cap on the side, and remember to pass through that 3rd one. Then you're ready to do exactly the same on this side with your 5 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we pass the needle through the very first 8 that is sitting beneath that DiscDuo. So if I pop that down on the mat, you can see you've now embellished 2 arms of your cross, and we need to form that little bead bridge across to the 3rd arm. So I'll do this with you once more and then I'll be repeating it. So 111, one of our accent beads, a size 8, and 111, 3 beads in total, and we skip across to the third arm, passing through the 8 that sits just below the disc duo, and that's our second bridge formed. So I'm going to repeat those steps to embellish around the third arm and the fourth arm, and then I'll come back to you. I've just finished embellishing around my fourth arm here, and you can see I've got one more bead bridge to connect the fourth arm to the first arm. So it's 111, one of my accent collars, and 111. And just as before, when we were passing across to the 8 just below the disc duo, I'm doing exactly the same for the last little bead bridge. So there you have your little cross motif all finished. Initially, I had thought of making this a 4-leaf clover and having it that way. And if I was to make earrings, I would hang the ear wire from this central accent bead here. But I wanted to use them as a cross. You could use the motifs that way, join a whole load together to form a bracelet, which would be really pretty. But we're making earrings, and the last thing we need to do is add on our ear wire. So I'm going to pass up through the beads on the side of this disc duo until I'm exiting the 8 at the tip that formed that initial little bead cap. There we go. There are no rules to adding a shepherd's hook, just like there are no rules to adding a clasp, but I'm going to show you how I do it, just in case you're fairly new to jewelry making and you've not done it very often. I'm going to use the 11s to add my shepherd's hook, and I'm picking up 3, and I'm going to let them drop down to the 8. I'm then going to pass through the loop of my shepherd's hook and back through the 11 that's closest to my shepherd's hook. Pull my thread through. Didn't mean to pull all those beads into shot. So I've got 2 little 11s sitting below the one I'm exiting. I'm going to pick up 2 11s. And to start this attachment, I exited the right-hand side of my size 8 seed bead, and to finish it, I'm going to pass through the same size 8, but from the left to the right, and pull my needle through. Once I've straightened it out, you will see that this is a nice, neat little attachment for our shepherd's hook and doesn't detract from the overall design. So it's just formed a little triangle at the top to attach my shepherd's hook. And I'm going to finish off my thread now. I'm going to finish off between this 11 and the 8 below it. I'm going to do a double half hitch knot. So I'm passing the needle under the thread that is between the 11 and the 8. I'm forming a loop and I pass my needle through the loop. That's a half hitch, and to make it a double I've got to do it twice. So again, passing the needle under the thread between the 11 and the 8, form a loop, pass the needle through the loop and pull tight. And then, just as we did at the very beginning, I'm just going to pull that knot into the beads so that when I use my zapper, I'm not going to zap through the knot and unravel all my hard work. So there's one. Let's bring the other one back into shot. There you have your beautiful little pair of earrings. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments below and I'll answer them as quickly as I can. If you've enjoyed it, please hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost a thing, but it means that the next time I load up new content, you'll get a little notification when you log in to say, there's something new to see. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, bye.